Party Llama is the party. Party Llama brings the party. Party Llama dramatically enhances the party. Please do not use Party Llama if you are allergic to the following: having a good time, increased heart rate, not being a total lame-wad, enjoying your life to the fullest, parasailing from the back of a yacht. Please consult a doctor if you do not develop a cool attitude. Use as directed.
What is up, everybody? Good morning. Hey, to everybody out there, look, it's me, it's you, you're there. It's Middle School Live, episode 21, and I miss you guys, man. It was just 2 days over the weekend, but man, what an awful 2 days to not be here with you every day. But we're back. We made it. We survived the weekend. April 20th, 2020. I've got some shout outs. Oh man, this is so great. It's like our friends, this is like our friend group, the Middle School Live friend group. And other people are certainly invited to join. But yeah, it's like, we're getting the old gang back together. So we've got Jackson. Hi. Thomas. Hi. Ollie. Hi. Oscar, hi. Amanda, hi. Andrew, hi. Emerson, hi. Miles, hi. Marissa, hi. Ada, hi. Holly, hi. Thomas, hi. Elizabeth number 1, hi. Amara, hi. Jenny, hi. And Caden, hi. And Isaac, hi. Caleb, hi. Hello. Tim, hi. Tyler, hi. Where I don't want to back up. Okay. Evelyn, hi. I think I said hi to Oscar, but just in case, hi. Molly, hi. Molly, I don't know. I felt like saying it like that for Molly for some reason. Elizabeth number 2, hi. And Natalie, hi. Oh, yes. Thank you. Caleb, I like it. Lumberjack Joe. That's right. I got my flannel on. I'm working on my Corona beard. This is not that you guys really care, but one of the most annoying parts about growing a beard out is this part up here when it starts to grow onto my lip, and so you have to trim it up. That was borderline TMI, but now that's what happens if you ever grow out a beard. Tim wonders if Lumberjack Joe will be the special guest Friday. I don't know. Hey, Micaiah. Thank you, Jenny. Jenny likes the flannel. I'm dressing up today because I'm going to the church building to record something for adults, and so I'm trying to look somewhat official, but apparently I'm just looking like a lumberjack. So, all right, who is Elizabeth number 1 and Elizabeth number 2? Well, maybe so I don't pick favorites, you're both Elizabeth 1.5. Is that okay? Okay. So actually, I'm gonna scratch my initial QOD. What I want to know from you guys is how do you feel about school being canceled for the rest of the year? I would love to hear your thoughts in the live chat. I asked this with some of our 8th graders from Quest. I was meeting with them last night. And different people have different perspectives. So I want you to feel free to share whatever you think or however you feel. And please let's be gracious if people post perspectives that might be different from ours. So Elizabeth, what do you guys think? What do you think about school? Sad. Sad. What else? What other thoughts do you have about school? Molly doesn't care. She still has to do school. Elizabeth, sad. Amanda, isn't that the truth, Amanda? Amanda said mad, sad, disappointed, but also kind of happy. And by the way, friends, it is okay if you feel that weird mixture of emotions. You're allowed to feel all of those things at the same time. It hurts. Oh, yeah, I hear you. That makes sense, Elizabeth. Amara, not good because I don't get to say goodbye to my friends. Evelyn, I'm homeschooled, so I still have school. Micaiah, kind of sad the 1 year I get good teachers. Tyler's going to miss seeing his friends. You're worried about being behind in school. A little happy. Marissa's homeschooled, doesn't really affect me. But if I did go to public school, I would probably be bummed. Yeah. Oh, Elizabeth, that's so sad. Thanks for sharing with us. This is an episode where, well, it's always okay to feel sad on the Joe Show. But especially today. I love school. My teachers were amazing. I cried forever. I miss them so much. Yeah. Bummer. Thanks for sharing, Elizabeth. Students, no matter how you feel about school being over, I want you to know that it's okay to feel that way. And I think it's good to be able to talk about your emotions and process through how you're feeling. And a lot of people here are expressing in the chat that they're sad, but maybe some of you are happy and you don't really care about it. And if that's how you feel, that's okay too. I don't want you to feel bad about the way that you're feeling. I realized last night that whether you're homeschool or public school, there's pros and cons to both. Elizabeth H and Elizabeth J. Okay, fair enough, Elizabeth J. How about that? So homeschool versus private school. Or sorry, homeschool versus public school. I know some of you are private school as well. So here's the deal. If you're homeschooled, there's pros and cons to this situation. The pro for homeschoolers generally is that your life has not been super disrupted as a homeschooler because you're continuing to do school from home. Now, your life has been disrupted. Like maybe you go to enrichment classes 1 day a week, or you have other activities that you attend that you can't. But as far as your like kind of main chunk of the school day, that's about the same for you. So there's not as much disruption if you're homeschooled compared to someone who's public schooled. So that's a pro. A con, if you're homeschooled, is that you still have to continue to do school, whereas your public school friends technically don't have to continue doing school. Now, if you're a public school person, we'll start with the downside. The downside for you is that your life is very disrupted, and you might not be able to see a lot of your friends, and so you're missing out on a lot that you normally would if you were attending public school. The positive, the upside for public school students is that legally you don't have to do school. Now, your parents might still force you, but if you don't do any schoolwork for the rest of the year, I'm pretty sure that they can't punish you and give you a lower grade. So that's the upside if you're public school. And if you're private school, I think you get the worst part of both worlds because you still have to do school. Like I've heard students from DMC say they have to do school still, but they can't see their friends and their lives are still pretty disrupted. So I think private school maybe has the worst end of both. Whereas with public and homeschoolers, there's pros and cons. So I see Tristan just joined. That's super cool. Awesome. So those are my thoughts on school and private, public, homeschooled. We already hit our QOD. Does anybody want to share about something you did over the weekend? I'd love to hear your weekend updates. What's one of your highlights from the past weekend? I'd love to hear. Hello, Tristan. Seth. I'm going to call you Tristan Seth if you call me Joseph. Andrew says, my life stinks. Why does your life stink, Andrew? Is it because you haven't taken a shower? Sorry, that was a bad joke. I'm genuinely am curious, Andrew, what you would say. Elizabeth made edible cookie dough and it was so good. That sounds fantastic. That sounds really good. Tyler wanted to build a snowman. Elizabeth J thinks I'm getting confused. Andrew, I don't know why life stinks. Maybe school. Fair enough. Kayla built 20 tiny snowmen and they were all dead within the hour. Yep. Tim, kayaking at a lake. Awesome. Marissa painted a lot of rocks. Jenny went to a big open field with no one around and had a picnic and played football and frisbee. That sounds amazing. Oliver, hey, everybody, let's give it up for Oliver right now. Oliver breathed over the weekend, so we're really excited. We're excited that Oliver breathed. So that's awesome. Whoa, hey, we're excited that Oliver's breathing. Look at it, guys. Come on, we have to be excited. Oliver breathed. Tristan asks Elizabeth H, isn't cookie dough already edible? Yeah. Elizabeth H responds and says she made cookie dough that you can eat without risk of getting sick. Because technically with raw eggs and cookie dough, that could be bad news. Breath daddies? What, Oscar? Evelyn was outside all day. That's awesome. Amanda FaceTimed, worked in the yard. Amanda has a clubhouse. That sounds awesome. Played some video games. Andrew played on his arcade machine. That's cool. Emerson, you flew your drone. Very cool. Amara got to see her aunt. Cool. Tyler has a rock in his backyard that says, Orange, you glad you found me. That's good. Hey, I see Owen and Lana. Hi, Owen and Lana. Thomas, there's a hand-in-hand talent show on April 21st. Awesome. All right. Cool. Well, let's keep this show rolling. We have a commercial, and this one is from our friend Micaiah. Here we go.
Come down today to Bob's Chair Store to buy a chair for many different uses. Sit in it, you can stand on it, and fall off of it. You can even use it to lock your friends out and make them pay you money. Here's how to build it. You'll need some wood. You'll need a hammer. And you'll need some nails. And you throw them all together. Wow, look at this amazing chair.
That was awesome. Did you guys? I think Micaiah, was there a hiccup somewhere? Like, did you actually like hiccup at some point during the video? Because if so, that was awesome. It sounds actually. I didn't know making a chair was so easy. You just need some wood and some hammer, a hammer and some wood, some hammer. You throw it all together and it comes together. That's awesome. Micaiah, tell me. I'd like to know where I can buy one of those chairs. That would be awesome. Time for a 1-minute workout. So today we're gonna stretch, and we're gonna try to do the splits. Okay, so I'm gonna do it. You guys can do it with me. I'm honestly going down as far as I can. So try to do the splits as much as possible. I'm doing it slowly. Okay, it's starting to hurt. Ouch. Can anybody do the splits all the way down to the ground? That's what I want to know. Just slowly stretch it out. Anybody able to go all the way down with the splits? Okay. Oh, I'm done. Ouch. Okay. You have to. Okay, a couple of updates. Micaiah says yes, he did hiccup. Elizabeth says, Joe, that's bad for you. You have to prep before doing the splits. Well, that's good to know. Now, Elizabeth, where were you 5 minutes ago? Come on. I'm just kidding, Elizabeth H. Did anybody, like Evelyn? Evelyn, you're a dancer. Can you do the splits all the way? Molly, yeah, I bet you can. Oh, Marissa, oh yeah, I bet. Treston can get to the point of his legs being 3 inches apart. Treston, that's not very far. Does that mean you're not very flexible? Elizabeth J can, but she's got to stretch out a lot. That makes sense. You know, maybe I should have stretched before trying the splits. Well, live and learn. Yeah, okay. Elizabeth H and Elizabeth J are saying I need to do prep. I'd be curious what prep needs to be done before doing the splits. Yes, stretch. But isn't doing the splits stretching? So do I need to stretch before I stretch? And then do I need to stretch before I stretch before I stretch? That could just go on for forever. Maybe I should just never stretch. No, that's actually not bad. It's actually good to stretch and be flexible. Yeah, Treston's on my side. Splits itself is a stretch. But maybe we should trust the people who know what they're talking about here. Ooh, Miles knows the entire alphabet. Congratulations. Good job, Miles. Hey, it's time for some riddles. Please do not look anything up online, because otherwise you could just cheat and read the answers, okay? But truth be told, I am not making these up on my own. I'm reading these from online, okay? So again, I mean, you can cheat. I can't stop you from cheating, but this is just honesty. Be honest. Don't use your phone. Don't use Google. Don't look up the answers. Just try to answer these questions as I pose them. Okay, and there's like real answers to all these. These aren't jokes. These are riddles. There's a difference. Okay, so what has to be broken before you can use it? What has to be broken before you can use it? I'm waiting. Deep thoughts. Wow, you guys got that one fast. It is an egg. Okay, fine. Maybe you already know some of these. Here's the next one. I'm tall when I'm young and short when I'm old. What am I? The first one was an egg. Oh, true. A glow stick would work for the first one too. Okay, the second one again. I'm tall when I'm young and I'm short when I'm old. What am I? Okay. I like, yeah, candle works, crayon works, shadow works, candy cane. Great. I like it. Okay, these are the easy ones. I'll do one more easy one. What goes up but never comes down? That's number 3. What goes up but never comes down? Treston says age. That's what I was thinking, because that's what the answer on the internet tells me. Balloons. What if a balloon gets popped? Age. Okay, we're going on to some of the harder ones. Funny. Funny riddles. Oh, let's do a math riddle. I'm sure Eugene would love this. Which is heavier, a ton of bricks or a ton of feathers? Which weighs more, a ton of bricks or a ton of feathers? You guys are too smart. They are the same. Um, okay, this one's harder. What begins with an E and contains one letter? What begins with an E and contains only one letter? The answer to the bricks and feathers question is they're the same. Envelope, yes. Envelope is the correct answer. Okay, this is the really hard riddles. Okay, hopefully some of these actually stump you. Or maybe you guys just study riddles. What is so fragile that saying its name breaks it? What is so fragile that saying its name breaks it? I'll say it one more time. Oh, Tyler got it. Silence. Okay, maybe you guys have studied the same riddle page that I'm looking at. I have, okay, here's the last one. You guys are way too good at this. I have lakes with no water, mountains with no stone, and cities with no buildings. What am I? I have lakes with no water, mountains with no stone, and cities with no buildings. What am I? Wait for it. No. It's not desert. I think Tim, you got it first. The correct answer is a map. I have lakes with no water, mountains with no stone, and cities with no buildings. I am a map. All right, I'm going to say Treston's. What begins with T, ends with T, and has T in the middle? What begins with T, ends with T, and has T in the middle? Is it a teapot? Begins with T, ends with T, and has T in the middle. I get it. Okay, well, you guys are really good at riddles, I guess. So I'll have to research some really difficult ones. So yeah, what do you think middle schoolers have been doing now that they don't have to go to school? Well, they've been having intensive classes where they study riddles. I feel like I've been defeated by all of you, but that's okay. You win. You win, middle schoolers. Congrats. Let's do the verse of the day. I'm going to do something a little different today because it's good to keep things fresh. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to play a video for our verse of the day. And it's an overview of the first 7 chapters of the book of Acts. Acts is in the New Testament: Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts. So it's the first book right after the Gospels, and it talks about the very, very first churches that started to grow after Jesus, when Jesus died, and then he came back to life for a little while, and then he went up into heaven, and then his church officially started. And the book of Acts it's like a historical book about what happened with the early church. I thought this would be a cool passage to look at because it's dealing with what happened soon after the resurrection of Jesus. And last week we celebrated the resurrection of Jesus with Easter. And so this part of Acts kind of picks up with what happens in the Bible right after the first Easter. So it kind of fits with where we're at in the calendar right now. So this is an overview of the first 7 chapters of the book of Acts. So it's a big chunk, but this is really cool. It's really well done. If you want to know, it's called the Bible Project. Let's give this a whirl.
One of the earliest accounts about Jesus of Nazareth, his life, death, and resurrection, was written by a man named Luke.
We know it as the Gospel of Luke.
By the way, I think this is like 6 minutes long, so hunker down.
Continued to do after his resurrection.
Acts begins with the disciples who are hanging out with Jesus, who's just come back to life, which is mind-blowing to imagine.
And then for weeks, the risen Jesus kept teaching them about his upside-down kingdom, the new creation that he launched through his death and resurrection.
This is exciting stuff, and the disciples are ready to go tell the world.
But then Jesus tells them to wait and to stay in Jerusalem until they receive a new kind of power so they can be faithful witnesses to Jesus and his kingdom. Then he says that their mission is going to begin in Jerusalem, then move out to Judea and Samaria, and then from there out into the nations. It's like a roadmap for the whole book of Acts. Then the disciples saw Jesus enthroned as King of all creation.
So the disciples wait, wondering when this power is going to come. And then comes the time of Pentecost.
So this is an ancient Israelite festival. It's during the early summer, and thousands of Jewish pilgrims would come back to Jerusalem from all over the world, all these different languages and cultures colliding in the city.
And the disciples are together in a house, which is suddenly filled with rushing wind along with fire. Fire splinters off into tongues of fire hovering over people's heads. What's this all about?
Yeah, so Luke is tapping into a repeated Old Testament theme. When God's presence showed up similarly at Mount Sinai, he made a covenant with Israel and gave them the 10 Commandments. Then later, when God's glory came in a pillar of fire, it filled the tabernacle when he came to live among them.
that was just one pillar of fire, not many.
Exactly. Luke's making an important point here. This is God's personal temple presence, God's spirit that was foretold by Israel's prophets. And now it's come to take up residence in the new temple of Jesus' body, that is, his people. They've become little mobile temples where God now dwells.
And they start to tell stories about Jesus, but they're speaking in languages that they didn't know before, yet all the visitors can understand them. What's this all about?
Well, Peter gets up to explain that this is the fulfillment of Israel's hopes based on the scriptures. God's plan was always to use the unified family of Abraham to bring peace and justice to the world. But the tribes of Israel had been scattered because of the exile. Now here at Pentecost, representatives from all of the tribes come back together and they're introduced to their Messiah, the crucified and risen Jesus, so they can now become the restored people of Israel.
And thousands of them start following the way of Jesus.
Which brings us to Luke's tale of two temples. So you've got the temple that Herod built in Jerusalem, where Jesus' disciples worship like the rest of the Israelites. But now there's also Jesus' temple, which consists of people. This temple's meeting together in homes all over Jerusalem, and they were approaching life in a radical new way.
Right, think about it. Many of these pilgrims aren't even from Jerusalem, so they formed these new families, and they're all depending on each other.
Yeah, people would sell their stuff, provide for the poor among them. They ate their meals together. They said their daily prayers together.
They were learning from the apostles what it meant to live as if Jesus is the true king of the world, and it must have been exhilarating.
But it wasn't all fun and games. Being God's temple is serious business, just like in the Old Testament. So you might know about that strange story in the book of Leviticus about two priests who disrespect God in the temple and then suddenly die. Well, Luke includes here a similar story of two disciples who dishonor God's spirit in this new temple, and they suffer a similar fate.
So there's corruption in the community. But the bigger problem is coming from the outside.
Yeah, from the other temple. Its leaders are threatened by this new messianic movement, and so they arrest the apostles, they try to stop them. And this brings us to the final story in the Jerusalem section of Acts. We're introduced to a new disciple, Stephen.
Oh yeah, Stephen. He's on fire. He steps up as a leader among the disciples to serve the poor, and he would go to the temple courts to teach people about the way of Jesus.
So the temple leaders arrest Stephen, and they find false witnesses to accuse him of dishonoring Moses and of being a terrorist who's threatening the temple.
In response, Stephen gives this powerful speech about how predictable this whole situation was.
Yeah, he retells the whole Old Testament story, highlighting characters like Joseph, Moses, and the prophets, people who are consistently rejected and persecuted by their own people. Israel's been resisting God's representatives for centuries, and so their rejection of Jesus and now of his followers is a rejection of God himself.
They get angry, and they start to execute him by picking up rocks and smashing him to death.
And as he's dying, he commits himself to the way of Jesus, to suffer because of the sins of others. He even cries out, "Lord, don't hold the sin against them."
This is basically what Jesus said at his death.
Exactly. Stephen becomes the first martyr of the Jesus movement, with many more to come. But this persecution contains seeds of hope, which is why Luke introduces us to a new character here, a religious leader named Saul. He stands over Stephen's dead body and even approves of the whole thing.
Wait, Saul, you mean the man who becomes the apostle Paul?
Yes, Luke is showing how even this tragic murder can't stop Jesus' kingdom. And so many persecuted disciples scatter out of Jerusalem, and just as Jesus said, they head into Judea and Samaria. Now, the story of what happens there, that's what the next section of Acts is all about.
Sorry. Okay. Now I'm back. I'm seeing your posts. Okay, so my bad. Let me start over. Thank you for bearing with me. So here's the daily challenge. I would love for you to take a photo of yourself, with you included, of where you watch the Joe Show, and then send it to me. You can take a selfie, or you can have someone else take the photo of you, like a sibling or a parent. I'd love to see where you are and what your setup is, what your surroundings are, wherever it is that you watch the Joe Show. We got a lot of faithful listeners out there, and it'd be really fun for me to get to see what your environment is like. Are you in your room? Are you in an office? Are you in the living room? Are you hiding in a fort somewhere? I don't know. I'd love for you to take a picture. Again, you can take it yourself. You can do a selfie, or you can have someone else take a picture of you. And I want you to be in the picture of wherever it is that you watch the Joe Show. And then you can submit those photos to me. You can either text them to me at the number on the screen, or you can email them to me at the email that's listed there as well. So, and apparently someone just commented that they're just in bed. So if it's not appropriate to send a picture, please don't send a picture. Okay. That's your daily challenge for today. I would love to see what it looks like when you're watching the Joe Show. Because, I see my screen and I see your comments, but I don't actually get to see you. So let's do one more activity for today. It's called What's This? I guess one more game for today. What's this? We've done this before. I will show a close-up photo of a household item, and then you will try to guess what the item is. All right? So, for example, what's this? What do you think? What's this? This is a candle. Yeah, yep. Okay, what's this? This one's hard. I think this one's going to be hard. What's this? Those are my slippers. Get it? See? You see? Ah, yes, interesting. What's this? What do you think? This is called a thermostat, and it controls the temperature of the room. Apparently, my dwelling was 66 degrees when I took this photo. Okay, what's this? What's this? That's a chair. That's a kitchen chair. What's this? This is deodorant. And some of you might say, what's that? What's deodorant? You should ask your parents. You wear it and it helps you smell good. It's really good. It's good. It's good to wear deodorant, especially if you're in middle school. Especially if you're a middle school boy. Okay, what's this? What is this? This is Kleenex. I think technically the term is facial tissue. Okay. What's this? Bum ba-dum bum bum. This is a roll of toilet paper. Yes, excellent. Okay, I got a couple more. What's this? What's this? This is an Amazon Echo Dot, also known as Alexa. Good morning, Alexa. Alexa, good morning.
Good morning. 80 years ago today, the first electron microscope was demonstrated in the United States. Standing 10 feet tall and weighing nearly half a ton, the microscope achieved a magnification of 100,000 times, turning the very small into very big news.
Aha, that was funny. Thanks, that's cool. What's this? This is something in a kitchen. I'll give you a hint on this one. This is a teapot. Yes, it is. What's this? Also something in a kitchen. This is a fork. What's this? What's this? A blurry photo. Yeah, I don't have a super great like zoom on, on my phone, but what's this? This is a napkin. Also, my napkins have like conversation starters written on them, which is cool. What's this? I think this is the last one. What's this? This is a light switch. That's right. That's right. Okay. Announcements, prayer, and then we're going to be done. The Bible reading plan on the YouVersion Bible app. It's right there on my phone. If you want to look it up for this week, it's called Set Apart. The topic is holiness, and it's designed for students, for middle schoolers and high schoolers. So if you want to join us, our weekly Bible reading plan is called Set Apart. I think if you just go and look up Set Apart, it should pop up. I'm typing in Set Apart on my phone, and plans, search, Set Apart. Boom, first one pops up. Boom, nailed it. Okay, if you want, that's our Bible reading plan. We have our lock-in at home special event. It's this Wednesday. Join us for 1, 2, or all of the activities. It's a time for us to spend some more time hanging out together than we normally do. And it's all going to happen on Zoom. So it's going to be a little more interactive than this, which is cool. And all the info is on the middle school events page. We're back here for live tomorrow morning. Of course, I hope you come back and hang out with us. Let us pray. I'm going to encourage you to pray 2 separate things, and I will lead you. And this is a prayer where we're going to have to try to listen to God. And I'm not saying God's going to speak to you in an audible voice, but we're just going to have some silence. And instead of us saying things to God today, we're going to try to listen. And maybe God's going to impress something on you during this time. So I'm going to have 2 separate questions that I'm going to give you to ask God. Join me in this prayer. The first thing you can pray is to ask God, and you can just do this silently wherever you are. Ask God, what do you want to say to me today? Ask him that question and then just sit in silence for a few moments, even if it's uncomfortable. God, what do you want to say to me today? Second question, God, what do you want me to do today? God, what do you want me to do today? Amen. I know praying like that might be uncomfortable for some of you, but I think it's good to connect with God in different ways. So I don't know if God impressed something on you, if something came to mind. If so, you should consider being obedient and listening and paying attention to whatever came to mind during that exercise. And I know God told me a couple things, but I'm going to keep that between me and God. So I'll trust that. Hopefully he spoke to some of you or guided you into some certain thoughts or emotions or something during that time. Kind of cool. Cool stuff. All right. Thanks for joining us today, friends. That is it. That is episode 21. So we'll be back tomorrow. Again, get signed up for the lock-in at home. There's 2 more days left. I think technically tomorrow is the last day to register. So get signed up for that, and we'll be here, right back here at 10 a.m. tomorrow. And I'm going to try to go the rest of the week without forgetting to unmute myself. But, I don't know. If not, you guys can help keep me in line. So thank you for joining, everybody. Thanks for participating. I love seeing all the action going on in the chat. And I hope you have an awesome Monday. Okay? Love you guys. Miss you. We're all in this together. Bye, 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 bye.